What is going on, guys? Devin McDonald with Bratton Sports Performance here. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about using nutrition to optimize your sports performance or to meet your sports performance goals, whether that be being bigger, faster, stronger, or to lose some fat or to gain some weight. So the first thing I wanted to do is to just dispel some of the really bad nutrition or food myths. And we got a list here of common myths you may hear your friends talk about or you may see on the internet that just are not true, right? So carbs making you fat, that's false. Carbs are, especially for athletes or people who train for performance, a very important source of energy. Protein consumption, whether that be thinking that you can only utilize 20 grams of protein at a time, or eating too much in protein or eating too high of protein diets is bad for your kidneys. None of this has been proven in any sort of research, so we cannot come to the conclusion that any of it is true. Fat is bad for you. Again, fat is so important for your body's hormones and keeping your body regulating and functioning at a high level. Eating no food after 6 p.m. or eating food after 6 p.m. makes you fat. Again, this is not true. When it comes to how much you eat, it has so much more to do about what you're eating and the total amount than it does really when. And then not training, so hey, I'm not training today, I don't have to eat as much, or I don't want to eat because I'm not working out, all of it's going to be stored as fat. Again, totally not true. Your body needs that fuel to recover, and we'll talk about that. So, getting into it, I want to break down like what we just talked about here, carbs, protein, and fat, and what each one does and why each one is so important, especially for athletic performance and training. So, our carbohydrates is our number one source of energy. So your body utilizes sugars stored in your muscles and in your bloodstream for that fast, explosive, immediately available energy. So if you are not eating carbs or you're not replenishing your body's storage of carbs, then it has to go through this extremely long process of breaking down fat in order to utilize that as energy. When as an athlete, you need that energy now. You need it explosively and you need it fast. So carbohydrates are what our body utilizes during training to be fast and explosive. And then following training, you need to eat carbs to replenish those stores. Then moving on to protein, this is what we use for our muscle repair, muscle protein synthesis. So as you break down your muscles or your body's tissue working out and training super hard, you need those proteins to come in and rebuild that tissue that you just worked so hard. And like I said before, we need a large total amount to replenish that muscle tissue that we break down in the body. And then last, we have fats, which are very important. So fats are responsible for the enzymes that trigger the hormones in your body. So these hormones are not only what helps you perform at a high level, gets you in that excited state that you can react to things very quickly and contract your muscles very quickly, but once you are done training or competing, these hormones are also what helps you recover. When you go to bed, these hormone levels rise and allow your body to repair itself. And then it also is responsible for storing fat-soluble nutrients, which our body needs, again, to help optimize that performance. So I wanted to talk to you guys and transition into how our body utilizes energy in order to help you understand why these macronutrients are so important. And so this is a scale, TDEE, of total daily energy expenditure that our body goes through. And going back to the myth of, oh, I'm not training today, I'm not burning that many calories, I don't need to eat that much. Well, looking right here, we have 4 different ways that your body's going to burn calories. You have your basal metabolic rate, which is your metabolism, how many calories you would burn if you were just laying flat in a bed not moving all day. Then you have the thermal effect of food, so essentially just how many calories it takes for your body to break down and digest the food that you're eating. Next is your basic level of activity all day, walking around to and from tasks, lifting up things, setting them down that are, not weights, but like your backpack going to and from school, folding your sheets, the super basic things. And then lastly, we have training. And so you can see that training is actually such a small portion of the amount of energy that we consume in one day, that if we go a day without training, we have to fuel 70% of the amount of calories that our body needs, which is why it is so important to continuously eat a large amount of food over the course of those non-training days as well. But obviously training does cause energy to be taken out, and this can be affected by how long and difficult your training is, which is why, and we'll talk about, you need to adjust the amount you're eating based on how hard your training is. And so we look at this basal metabolic rate. This is how much it costs your body to just exist, to keep its structure and its size. So this is why we need to continuously be eating large amounts of proteins and large amounts of healthy fats to maintain our body's structure. And so going back into protein and fats, we want to be eating a large amount of these two on a consistent basis. So these two should not change, right? So your protein should be around 1 gram of body weight, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. You don't exactly have to measure, but just making sure that you're eating a good quality protein with every single meal throughout the day should get you there. Fats should come up with about 20 to 30% of your total daily intake of calories. But again, just making sure that you have a good healthy fat at every single meal will help you reach that goal. And then carbs is what we need to manipulate in order to meet our training demand. So we want to make sure that we are eating somewhere between 2 to 4 grams of carbohydrates per pound of body weight, and that is a large range. So if I'm a 200-pound male, I should be eating 400 to 800 grams of carbs. So that low number is somewhere where, hey, I'm not training this day, I just need to replenish those glycogen stores from yesterday when I trained really hard and used all of them up. So you're eating that lower amount of carbs, keeping these two the same on off days to replenish what your body needs. And then on really, really hard training days where you have practice, you have lifting, or you may have a 3-hour game that's very intense the entire time. You need to be eating that higher end of the carbohydrate spectrum so that your body is able to utilize that energy source and keep you performing at a high level throughout the duration of your training. And especially if you have multiple trainings throughout a day, you have lifting in the morning and practice at night, you need to be replenishing those glycogen stores, eating a bunch of carbs in between those in order to restore your body's quick, fast source of energy. So, if you guys have any further questions about utilizing your nutrition in order to optimize your athletic performance, feel free to